man, but I'm a strong man. You ain't fat and shit. You gotta roll, man. We could toss us some get 'em up, toe to toe. So nigga, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
The greatest fucking intro in hip hop.
Yeah,
Real
we was
shit.
just talking about that, dog. Yeah. It's an
The
honor, dog.
greatest
Welcome.
intro. The greatest intro, album intro in hip hop.
Well, thank you. Hip hop slash rap.
Man, I don't
Right.
give a fuck what them East Coast niggas say, bro. It's hip hop to me because I can feel the shit.
But shout out to the East Coast too, though. We got Staten Island in the chat. Christopher George in the chat. Shout out to
No
Staten. But
disrespect. No
we
disrespect.
celebrating Compton tonight,
No
though.
disrespect. No disrespect to the East,
Nah,
but who was them to define what's hip hop?
nah, ain't no never no disrespect. What's up, world? Black ass KK, second to none. Compton, California. One half for second to none. My relative D and me, KK, second to none. The group. Uh, yeah, never no disrespect. We was the first West Coast group signed to an East Coast based label, which was Profile Records. The same record label was Run DMC. So that should let the world know. And our first album came out in 1991, second to none, Profile Records. Same as Run DMC. First Compton, a West Coast group, second to none, KK and D signed to an East Coast based label. So that was 1990 for the fans that don't know second to none on the East Coast or period.
Yeah, well, you definitely had
Other
a
than that,
huge impact in
but
Detroit, though.
all to say that I want not to cut you off just before we go on further. That's needed to be heard because it never was no hate towards East Coast, and realistically, as you can see today, back then it was different for something for the Northeast or hip hop in that matter. And these are facts, right? Yeah, it was something new to the Northeast, or basically hip hop, because hip hop is three boroughs out of five boroughs in New York: Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens.
Right.
So that's New York, the state, and five boroughs out of that New York City. Three of those boroughs are hip hop where it started. So let's get the facts correct, because that's what the whole hip hop community around the world. Y'all need to start over and get that correct with hip hop. Hip hop is New York, so it's never been no hate. It's just differences and separate going by a timeline of facts because everybody was doing the same shit at the same time. It's just who had pr- promoting and marketing strategical teams in their city looking to promote them. LA didn't have that. That's why we was called street reporters, and we had underground tapes. Wasn't no the mixtapes was
Right.
oldies. See, that's California. New York, it was mixtapes. See, the hip hop world and community need to check the facts and correct themselves and go back and then say, okay, New York is hip hop, Atlanta is Southeast rap, Memphis is Midwest rap or South rap, Texas is South rap, California is West Coast, along with Seattle, Washington, with Sir Mix-a-Lot from, and then
Right.
within California we have the Bay, and then we have L.A. County. L.A. County consists of Compton, Watts, Long Beach, Gardena, Paramount, Inglewood, and the west side and the east side of LA and the west side and east side of Compton. You know what I mean? So ain't no South Central. South Central of what? So let's
Right.
get all the facts correct. Never was no hate from the West Coast. That includes California, which is the Bay and LA County, to Seattle, Washington, where Sir Mix-a-Lot from. And, really wasn't too many other artists on the West Coast on this side of Texas up to Chicago or basically to Canada from Mexico on this from Texas all the way to the Pacific Ocean. It really wasn't no other artists that came out. So that's the West Coast. The South starts from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way to Georgia to Miami, Florida. That's the
Yep.
South, and also Memphis. Memphis is the South. Because you have artists that came out late 80s, early 90s. We were all underground artists, not the North, East. The Northeast didn't have no clue what was going on in the West and in the South,
Nigga,
unless you was on the road in the '80s and traveling around United States hustling like everybody else was, and you had some knowledge of what was going on in other cultures in other communities around United States. So the West Coast never hated on the East Coast. The West Coast just wasn't never accepted in the beginning by hip hop because it didn't go within their culture and their five aspects of hip hop,
and that's
being MC, DJ, the graffiti, and all that. That's the
and
elements
that's
of hip hop,
and
not
that's and
rap.
that's funny. That's funny too.
Everybody
Like